What I'm about to say to you may change the way you look at food for the rest of your life. Now, most of us enjoy eating. I know I do. But few of us take time to contemplate or fully appreciate all the resources, the water and the energy and the oil and the other inputs that go into making our food possible. Let's look at pizza. Exhibit A. We've got flour, tomato sauce, vegetables, oil, spices, other ingredients. Each one of those ingredients had a long and very complicated journey to make it into this pizza. It had to be planted and grown and harvested and processed and packaged and transported several times before it made it to Austin's Pizza to get it into this pizza. Now, wouldn't it be a shame if after all that work, it went to waste and nobody got to eat it? It would be a big shame. But if I was part of a typical American household, I would throw away a quarter of this pizza. That's right, 25% of what comes into US households goes in the trash. The average American household spends $133 per month, that's $1,600 a year, on food that no one eats. But it's worse than that. If this pizza was to represent all the food in America, this would be a more accurate picture. We waste 40% of our food from farm to table. If you added up all that food, it would be enough food to fill the Rose Bowl football stadium every day. And globally, 50% of food goes to waste. So, this is a massive tax or expense for our planet, and there's no return. Now, environmentalists spend a lot of energy and attention on conserving water and conserving energy, but very little attention on food waste, which actually consumes a lot of both. 4% of US oil production and 25% of our fresh water, that's a quarter of the water that we could be drinking, is going to grow food that no one eats. And then there's the problem of disposal. When we throw food away, where's away? There is no away. We live on a rock floating in space. And everything that we extract or create or dispose of is ours to deal with. So, really, where does food go when we throw it away? Currently, the vast majority of it goes to landfills. And that's pretty much the worst place it could go. Because in a landfill, it doesn't turn into soil. It breaks down and it creates methane, which is a potent greenhouse gas, and it contributes to global warming. And it's a dead end for all of those nutrients. So, now that we recycle so much, this is the good news. We recycle a lot of plastic and paper and metals and things like that. But now that we do all that, the single largest stream of material going into landfills is food. We spend $750 million a year disposing of food. What if we took that money and spent it on preventing waste and redirecting food to higher and better uses? And what would be better? Well, the highest and best is to prevent the waste. That is certainly the best. And I will share some ideas on that in a minute. But if there is surplus food, if you couldn't prevent it and there is surplus food, the best thing is for it to go to humans, to people. The next best would be to animals. If that food is not suitable for human consumption, animals might be able to eat it. And if not, it could be turned into compost or biofuel or used for other industrial uses. Now, fear of lawsuits has actually held back a lot of people from donating food. But the fact is, since 1996, before many of you were born, we've had legal protection. The federal Emerson Good Samaritan Food Act has encouraged donations and provided protection to those who make food donations. And the fact is, people need it. 50 million people in America don't know where their next meal is coming from. That is 1 in 6 Americans. And 17 million of those food insecure are children. That is the same number as every child enrolled in kindergarten, first, second, and third grade in America. That's just not right. Now, I'm not saying that all of those people could be served by just harvesting the surplus food, but a lot of them could. And if we got smart about how we use food, we could redirect it and use our resources better than shoving them into landfills. Now, there are losses of food all along the food chain, from farm to the transportation to the packaging. Oh, sorry, you weren't supposed to see that yet. The packaging, the retail, all along the way, there are losses. But the biggest chunk, actually, is at the consumer level. I'm going to share some ideas with you in a minute on how we can address that. But, oh gosh, I did it again. So I'm going to share some things. So, first, you can avoid sending food from your home to the landfill. And first of all, you can prevent waste. Look in your refrigerator and your pantry before going shopping and see what you have so you don't duplicate it and you make plans for the foods you've got. Next, learn to properly store food. If you put things in the right containers or drawers or bags or things like that, you can make it last longer. And you can also use the freezer to extend the life of food or temporarily stop the aging process. Next, trust your nose over the sell-by or best-by dates because those just refer to freshness, not safety. And get in place a system, here we go, for diverting your food scraps to compost or animals. This is my yard. We have chickens and a compost pile in the back there. Now, if you don't have a yard that is suitable for compost, there are a lot of cool indoor composting systems, or like when I lived in a condo, I would throw scraps in a bucket and then walk them down the street to my neighbor, or you could take them to a community garden as well. Second, prevent food waste when going out. First, share. Order food family style. Put it in the middle and have everybody take off of the middle, or split entrees with a friend, or offer your food. If you're not going to finish your food, offer it to somebody, because it's kind of awkward to be like, are you done with that? Just offer it. Make a pact with your dining buddies that no food will go to waste. Either someone at the table will finish it, or someone will take it home as leftovers. A bonus if you remember to bring your own to-go container, your own locking storage container. Third, you can prevent food waste in the community. If you host an event, let no good food go to waste on your watch. Make sure that there are to-go containers, preferably biodegradable ones, so that leftovers can go home with the volunteers, the staff, really anyone. It's better than going in the trash. You could also volunteer for programs like Keep Austin Fed. You can be a food runner. There's actually a program in San Francisco called Food Runners, and they recover 10 tons of food to people every single week using all volunteers. And lastly, take it upon yourself to seek out food surplus and find someone to eat it. I've been known to go by the bakery at closing time and pick up the leftovers. It's an entire sack of stuff. And walk down the street, knocking on my neighbors' doors, offering them bread and pastries. You can be your own, version of Santa and show up with food, and people are always very grateful for that. So clearly, food waste is a big problem. But the size of the problem also indicates the size of the opportunity. And we are in an exciting time in history when we are redefining what is okay, what is acceptable when it comes to food waste, locally, nationally, and globally. In short, we need to stop putting food in landfills, and we need to redirect it to more positive ends, feeding people and animals, creating compost, which makes rich soil, or creating biofuel. So every time you eat, a few times a day maybe, or plan an event with food, I hope you'll take actions to make sure that none of it goes to waste. And by the way, you didn't actually believe that I was going to let this perfectly good pizza go to waste, did you? Thank you.